Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me personally, and on behalf of everybody here, say a big thank you to Kish. I think this is about the fifth edition. Yes. And I think it's been improving with each passing occasion. We all have what God has sent us to come and do. So he's just fulfilling his own destiny. I think this is the second one I'm going to attend, or the third one. I'm not here to talk as a mentor, because that's not part of what we have on the thing. I'm actually here to talk about a few things, to share a bit of experience. Being a serial entrepreneur, I listened to my brother that spoke about branding, and I've also listened to a few other people. I think we have a challenge in the country, and maybe as black people, without any disrespect to us, I think the major challenge is that we keep talking about high level of unemployment. But unfortunately, are the people employable? That's the major issue. When he was asking about the industry we play, I told him real estate. I also have a few other interests. I recently, with my daughter, opened a restaurant sometime last year. Between last year and now, we've had to sack over 40 people. They will also go back into the market and say there's high level of employment, but the bottom line is that they are not actually employable. So I think the first thing we need to start looking at is how to start afresh, how to redirect our energy to the younger ones to ensure that we instill values. And the lack of employability is not just about the brain. Maybe you don't have the brain. It's actually about the values. We have lost the values. Anybody that wants to come into any employment now, 8 out of 10 will be thinking of how to steal from the employer, or how to be lazy but end up collecting salaries at the end of the month. So there's a major, major challenge. And initially, before, when I take on things like this, I always challenge the government. I always say, look, the ladder of success is too steep. That was some 20 years ago. But now, the ladder of success has been widened. But unfortunately, those that are supposed to climb the ladder do not have the right apparels. So we really, really need to look into that. I'm also going to advise Kish that anytime you're having this kind of a thing, always make sure that a financial consultant is always on hand. You see, as a brand person, as an entrepreneur, we might unconsciously be telling the people the bright side without taking an in-depth look about individual differences and what challenges individuals will play. But a financial person will always kick us back on track. My brother was talking so much about branding. I love that. But if you're an entrepreneur, a young one, a growing one, the first thing you should be talking about is your budget. Don't step out here and say because you have spoken about branding, that branding will take you to the top, and take all your budget and put it on branding. You need to be able to understand. You need to be able to set your goals. We have individual goals. We have individual challenges. Dangote started with some set of people. It wasn't as if Dangote was the smartest of all. But some people understand the fact that he had better government patronage, and that could propel you. So it depends. There are so many things. But what we must take cognizance of and what we must not lose is the value. The value is very, very important. Again, when you want to go into any business, make sure you do a lot of research. Research these days doesn't cost much. Before, you'll have to be going all over the place, asking questions, sending questionnaires and everything. Don't jump into any business because you think somebody is doing it and is doing it successfully. That's a recipe for failure. Because for you to go into any business, do your research. Take a SWOT analysis. SWOT, I'm sure most of us know that is strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Take a SWOT analysis of yourself and the business. And the fact that, okay, the opportunities, are they enough for me to go into this business? What are the threats? What are my strengths? So we really, really need to understand that. We need to do quite a lot of things. Research is a very integral part of setting up a business. Again, maybe I'm talking from my background, because I also have, apart from the engineering background, I also have a background in project management. A project manager feels that even if you deliver a project and it is not delivered to time, a project manager still sees it as a failed project. If it's not delivered to budget, the project manager still sees it as a failed project. If you ask me to build a stadium, and I go and build that stadium to your taste, but the stadium is delivered late, to me, as a project manager, it's still a failed project. So we really need to understand that research is a very key factor when we want to have our businesses. We need to be prepared. We really need to be prepared before we start talking about going into the... Yes, again, we understand when he was talking about, yes, go into it. Yes, go into it, but please go into it prepared. Otherwise, you will have to go back. Again, it's also, when you're talking about, again, we can be seen to be doing a lot of activities, whereas no work is done. We need to understand what activities are needed. So there's a whole lot. And we can do our research now, just taking our screen, just with maybe 5 gig data. We don't need to be going all over the place anymore. Research is reasonable, and we can ask questions. Ask from people that have done it, that have failed. Ask from people that have done it, that have been successful. Ask questions. Yes, look, I always tell people, those that I mentor, I said when you ask questions, there are only two ways. Is that a yes or a no? Nobody is going to slap you because you ask me questions. The worst you're going to do is that I'm not going to answer you. So that's it. So please ask a lot of questions. Understand that it is very important for you to know what you want to go into. If you don't know it, I've had businesses I've passed that has been successful. I've gone into things that have been unsuccessful. So I have gone through that, I've gone through the rudiments, and I want people to see that, okay, these are the things that made us fail, these are the things that can make you successful, so that we understand where we're going. The opportunities we had might not be the same that you are having now. Well, we didn't have the opportunity of the social media when we were starting, but we had families. We had values. They were taught in school. But now, even if you try to teach a child values in school, the father or the mother will come to the school the following day and start fighting the teacher. We were not trained by housemates. We were trained by either our mother or our father. So there were values, the schools, the homes. But that is changing because there's so much financial demand on the younger generation now. There's so much because the government is failing them. and they have to make efforts to, augment whatever it's available. That's why you see the mother working as a banker, coming home around 10 p.m. The father doesn't even come home until 11. Because when the father closes, he wants to stop somewhere for traffic, manage the traffic, and so on and so forth. Even there is no communal efforts towards training a child anymore. So there are so many things. We've lost a lot of values. We've lost a lot. So we need to redouble our efforts. We need to do so much when we want to start our businesses. Again, yes, you need to look at those that are ahead of you, but you also need to look at yourself and analyze what opportunities you have. And analyze all what opportunities you have before you plunge into any business. Like I said, I am here, I'm not a speaker, I just get crashed. So I just said that I want to share my experience. My sister has said she is in hospitality business. I'm very sure she's going to tell you a lot more about the challenges when it comes to restauranting. I have never in my life seen a sector where you have so many unprofessional people. That is the gospel truth. We've moved our kitchen 3 times because of either theft, trying to cut corners and put out poor quality so that they can, there's so many things. If I tell you that we have sacked about 40 people in 1 year, then you should know that there's crisis in that industry. But again, one thing is this: don't give up. Do your research, manage it well, and don't give up. Thank you so much.
You've actually hit the nail on the head when you talk about values. And I find it difficult to try to put this together. I want to write off all you said about, now we have people who are successful who don't have values. You've told us how you learned values in the past. That was in the past. We are in now, today. And that's, tell us how we should teach the values now. I suspect you may go back to how the family should raise the children up. But right now, we have broken parents who are raising broken children. And these are the children that we have to work with. So you've actually not told us exactly how to teach those values now. That's the issue we are facing. And if I can go out there and I can be successful, I don't have values, I can come to an event, I can answer my phone call when someone is talking and not go outside. Something like that. So, things like that, just little things like that, just as an example. Just tell us exactly, practically, what we should do. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, just take it. Let me just.
Thank you. There was something you said that really hit me. In the past, let's say in the time of Dangote, we didn't have social media. But yet, Dangote still made a name for himself, even as future as I was at that time. So I know that you didn't just become a businessman today, you've been in the business for a while. So what would you say, what medium did you use to, how did you leverage on, how do I want to put it, that you were able to excel in your business, even without social media, even without content creating that we have now? What would you say you used, or businesses like Dangote used to, get growth in their business?
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, my question is coming to you personally as an entrepreneur. So you said you and your daughter started a business together. So I want to know, I also have an idea starting a business with my brother and my younger sister. They have the business idea, I do more research, and we want to push it together. As an entrepreneur you are, is it an ideal thing? Because they just say, okay, I can do this thing. I can do this thing. So they come to me that, yeah, you push the fund, you brand it, you push it. is it something we can actually achieve that only one of us has the idea? So, but we can learn while at it. But is it something good that, like coming together, three of us as a family to start a business? You said you and your daughter started a business. So, is it something you would preach for people to do? Is the idea of three of us has to have the business knowledge for it to grow?
Thank you. So, the first one, we spoke about values and how we were able to weather the storm and what is left of the next generation or this particular generation. Honestly, I think there are so many factors that we really need to look at. The type of education we're getting now, it's different. So we really need to go back to that. Let me give you an instance. I was reading one day and I saw that history has been taken out of our curriculum. How do we learn about the past if history has been taken out? But those that took it out, it is convenient for them to take it out because they don't even want you to learn about the past. Because the past they are giving for the future is not what they want people to learn about. That is one. Number two, I think you also spoke about values in terms of people that do not have values that are, that are successful. We had those ones too in those days. We had the Oyenusis. They were successful, in quote. But the only thing is that that type of success was not as celebrated as it is now. Unfortunately. Now, we celebrate any form of what we see as success. And you know why? Unfortunately, I think in the past few decades, the government have continuously weaponized poverty. They have continuously impoverished the society so that the only language they understand is money. So, if our role model now will be the MC Oluomos, don't you know there's a problem? So, I think we need to go back to the basics. We need to go back to the schools. We need to even start teaching entrepreneurship in schools. We need to start, maybe we even need to start from ourselves. Even as a young man, as a parent, what values are you teaching? What are you being seen as? What? Do you tell your child, then everything was open insanely? If that person is gone, well, that person tell him I'm not around. You started telling the child how to lie. So, let's look at it. Then the issue of high dependence. Even in our homes, I don't want my child to cry. Anything he asks for, I must give him or her. Let the child cry so that you don't cry in the future. If you don't cry, now hospital they will leave you. When the day they born you, they never carry you come home until you cry. You must cry for that hospital. They say spare the rod and spoil the child. We are not talking about the physical rod. We are talking about boundary enforcement. A child will walk up to the father or the mother and say, don't be stupid. And you see it as, okay, he's only advising you not to be stupid. Yes, he's advising you or she is advising you not to be stupid, but you are damn stupid. So we need to look at it. It's a whole lot of, it's everywhere. You will see a 17-year-old child bring a Mercedes-Benz C-Class home and and the mother or the father, or either of them or both of them, will go on Sunday to celebrate and do Thanksgiving, not asking where did you get that money from. When I was much younger, I'll tell you my own personal experience. I think I was around 9 or 10 years. Some of these, I used to play football very well. Some of these boys in Adeniyi, our area brothers, now took me to somewhere very far to play for them in the finals. We now won that competition. I was the most valuable player. They gave me some gifts. I dare not take the gifts home. Because where would I tell my parents that I got the gifts from? But today, they don't want to know how you got the gifts, where you went or whatever. They must help you celebrate it. So are we that type of parents? Do we enforce boundaries in our home? As a woman, do you show respect? As a man, do you respect your woman? Because everything you do, the child learns from it. The child learns more from the home than the school. Because the child is very comfortable at home. So values start from so many things. Everybody is now going after money. Even a lot of us here are going after money. I have seen somebody that changed the person she wanted to vote for because of a bottle of Lacasera cream. So you can see how poverty has been weaponized. So a lot of people have lost their values because of money. But we can still get it right. We can get it right by standing out as individuals. Let us even start being the person we want others to be. Let us communicate our values. It's very important. So I think that's the best way I can handle that too. Because I'm not a Gen Z. To my this time I was talking about Dangote and how we were able to navigate the terrain. You see, yes, those days there were no what's it called? There were no social media, blah blah blah. But there were other things. We had the conventional media, and it was not as pricey as this. Even look at the journalism now. I read some news and I'm like, now journalists write this one. It can't be possible now. You see, you can hardly read a line without one grammatical error or the other. Look at it. Is there no what's it called, body that superintends over these people? Because everybody has become a journalist. Everybody wants to do anything. Now, we have the print media, I'll tell you one, I'll share my experience again. When in Ibedileki, when we started one of our shopping complexes there, in Awiyaya. So, we wanted to market it. That was about 15 years ago or thereabouts. And I called my team, I said, you know what you are going to do? Go and meet all the vendors. We don't have money to pay that VAT. But go and meet all the vendors. Go and talk to them, especially the ones sitting by the gate of residential estates. Go and meet them. Have a discussion with them. Give our flyers to them. Let them put it in their newspapers. Anybody that buys the newspaper must see our flyer. And that worked. So that's thinking outside the box. That really worked. We got some people, because then the traffic in that area was something else. So we got them to be doing some things with the traffic. They'll be distributing the flyers. That was another means of communicating our products to them. The restaurant I'm talking about now, Amala Hut, we had a session, I think 3 days ago, and I told them that, look, we're talking about how we're going to navigate this. A lot of them were also talking about social media. I'm a computer engineer, so I know what impact the social media has. But I told them that, look, you must be able to sieve the demography. The physical people present here are very important. Your conversion rate with the social media is going to be less than 2%. But target those that live around there. Those are the ones that are going to buy your food. When I told them that we can use flaggers, everybody shouted, oh, God, what are you talking about? I said, flaggers are people that they call them crossers at times. They hold the flag, so when the children want to cross, they will stop vehicles for them. I said, just let's talk to the local government. Let's have flaggers. Let's brand them in our Amala hut and our phone numbers. And I say, you see, it's about thinking outside the box. So we really need to understand that. To Madam Family Business. To be candid, me and my daughter, my first daughter, we have a very good relationship. An extremely good relationship. So she's a lawyer, but you need to determine where you are with your family members before you go into businesses. I know that it's easier with father and daughter or father and son, because eventually the son or the daughter might say, okay, maybe when the man grows old, maybe it's me that will inherit it. But that might not work with brothers and sisters. Again, if in any business, not even family, if you are the owner of the idea and you want to go into business, monetize your idea. People don't appreciate ideas. They only appreciate the people that put the money down. That doesn't work. Monetize your idea. If you don't monetize your idea, you'll end up regretting it in the future. Even if possible, what's it called? Make sure you not only monetize it, but make sure that you do, what's it called? You make sure that you register it. Maybe your logo, maybe your thing, so that other people will not steal it. Yes, I don't have a problem with going into businesses with brothers or sisters, but do it right. Do it as if you're doing it with an outsider. Use your head, not your heart. The moment you use your heart, you're in trouble. But make sure you use your head. When you get back home, you can be doing family thing. But when you are in the office, make sure you do the right thing. Otherwise, especially if you are the owner of the idea and they bring money, they'll tell you that maybe they own 80%. Your idea might be worth 80%, theirs 20%. Because their money is almost not, is not what kickstarts the business. Because if you have the right idea and you package it well, you get people that will invest in your business. They will invest in your ideas. But if you have money and you have no idea, it's almost zero. The only thing you'll be doing is to be buying shares all over the place. And you end up coming back to ground zero or negative. So there's nothing wrong in having businesses with whoever you want to have businesses with, but please ensure that it is done appropriately. No consideration, no concession. No, you can give concession though, but no family business, doing businesses together. And I've seen people that, as a matter of fact, the family was torn apart just because of that business. So let's use our head, not your heart. I'm very sure I've answered the questions, so I can take my leave now. Thank you.